Okay, so hello world and Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority, YOSA, class number, whatever, 7? Good. Number 7, 7 weeks. Today we're going to be doing Google Docs, but before that we're going to start with the fundamentals, including me getting this properly adjusted so that I look good. It's not too easy. Okay, so we have a new person in class, and what we do, Vanessa, is we start with the fundamentals of what it takes to be successful at work. So who I am is, my name is Edward Bevilacqua, and I am the Director of Education at a post-secondary school called Larson Training Centers. And Larson Training Centers is what?
Training center.
The
Training center.
best
Training center in Nevada.
Yes, it is the best post-secondary school in Nevada. We call ourselves the Stanford of vocational schools. Okay, we are the top. According to who? Okay. So we are. So everything we do is not geared towards education. It's geared towards employment success. Schools like ours are measured on how many people got jobs, not what did you learn. And what we find, though, is employers don't care about what you know. They care about whether you can do the job they want to pay you to do. Okay? Now, what are the two things, Terrence or Shaquall, that employers care about?
How you're going to make money and how you're going to save money.
Right. They only care about two things: make money, save money. Now, when I say businesses, I mean for-profit businesses. We don't train our students to go work for the government or for nonprofits. We train them to work for 95% of the businesses out there, which are for-profit. You know, guys that have a business for profit, they care about two things: make money, save money. And the key to that is having marketable skills. The key to marketable skills is being able to what, Terrence?
So you get to the cloud.
No. What's the key to having marketable skills?
Communication.
No. Hello? Hello? Okay. Hello? Okay, now let's see, let's see, Lisa, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lisa, okay, what is your name?
Shanisha.
How do you spell that?
H-A-S-H-A-W-N-I-S-H-A.
Okay, yeah, okay. And your name?
Sharde.
How do you spell that?
S-H-A-R-D-E.
Okay, good, all right. So I need you to do a couple things. Sign in, Tommy needs that. Let's see, I think Shaquall got you a notebook, that you want to use that right now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we'll give this to Shanisha and this to Sharde. Okay, that's going to be your notebook, and we will bring you composition books. Okay, so the key to success in employment is what?
That's a good question.
Remember.
There you go.
Oh,
It was Lisa.
Okay, Lisa, thank you.
that was me.
The key is remembering. If you can't remember something, if you learn something and you can't remember it, how valuable is that, Terrence?
It's not valuable at all.
Right, it's pretty much the same as not knowing it. Now, the second thing, though, is if you remember something you can't communicate, how valuable is that, Vanessa? Huh? Huh? I can't hear you. Very valuable? Okay, so if you remember but you can't communicate, that's valuable?
Oh, no.
It's the opposite. It's not very valuable. So the way we teach this class is I ask a lot of questions. I'll say something, then I'll ask a question to see if A, you're paying attention, because if you're not paying attention, are you going to remember what I say?
No.
Vanessa?
No.
Wrong. Yes, you're correct. You can't remember. If you don't listen to what I'm saying, you're not going to remember what I'm saying. If you don't remember what I'm saying, that's like you don't even know what I'm saying. You're not going to get any benefit out of it. And the thing is, most people go through life not really paying attention, not remembering what they learned. So, Shanisha,
Yeah.
what do you think is the basic difference between good students and not good students?
Maybe.
Huh? Just the first thing off the top of your head.
Good students, they listen, take notes, do homework, turn in homework on time. Bad students just sit there, do whatever they want.
Okay, so you're pretty close. The simple answer is good students remember. And part of remembering is they learn it the first time. So taking notes helps you remember stuff. So here's an extra pen. Okay, so one of the things good employees do is they are prepared. Again, for the people who just came in, the school where I teach, I'm the director of education at the best vocational school in the state of Nevada, the best career training school in the state of Nevada.
You said it was the Cal of...
Not the Cal.
No, it was the Cal.
The Stanford.
No.
The Stanford of career training schools. We have an 87% placement rate. Now, what makes that sort of more significant is our students are either in prison, they get to leave prison to come to school, they're convicted of a crime and they get the choice of school or jail, they are convicted of a misdemeanor but they can't pay their fines, so they are, okay, now wait, what are you doing, Shanisha? What are you typing? Okay, if you're going to not do what I'm doing, just leave. Okay, because I'm here to help you, and it's very distracting to me when I hear people typing.
Okay.
If you don't want to be here, that's perfectly okay with me. But if you're going to be here, I expect that you're going to learn something. Okay, this is the two-way exchange. Anybody see the Karate Kid?
Yeah.
Okay, what did the kid want in the Karate Kid?
To fight.
He wanted to learn
Karate.
karate. And he would bug the guy, the Japanese guy in the beginning, and say, what? Teach me. And the Japanese guy said, what? At first. No. He said, no. And then finally the kid begged him, and he said, okay, I'm going to make a deal with you. What was the deal? No, that was after the deal. What was the deal? The deal was, you do what I tell you to do, and I will teach you karate. But you don't ask me questions. Okay? So what did he do first? What was the first thing?
Wax on,
wax off. Okay, then what was the next thing?
The broom. Right?
No, sand the floor.
Okay.
Okay, and then what was the last thing?
Was it paint?
Painting, yeah. Paint the wall, right? Or no, paint the wall. And finally the kid said, this is BS. I'm not learning karate. I'm your slave. You have me doing your cars, you have me sanding the thing, you have me painting your house. And the guy said, well, what is it really? You know, how do you block? Wax on, wax off. And so he was learning karate. So the key thing, though, was there was a deal. There was an agreement. You do this, I do that. And the guy said, but you don't ask me questions about how I do it. Just have confidence that I know what I'm doing. So here, the deal is I'm here to help you, but you have to be here to help you too. I can't care more about you than you care about yourself. Does that make sense, Vanessa?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here there's two things that are important. One is to be able to remember what I'm saying. Two is to communicate. Because if you go for a job interview and you do not do well at communicating, what do you think will happen, Lisa?
They're not going.
They're not going to hire you. You're not going to get what you want. So again, I'm from the best school in the state as far as the state of Nevada is concerned. Here's what I can promise you. You're not going to get any better education, any better class, any better instructor than me. And I'm not just saying that to brag. And the key word is just. So I went to a good university in California called Santa Clara. The governor of California went to Santa Clara. The current governor of California went to Santa Clara. The lieutenant governor of California, which is like the vice governor, went to Santa Clara. The head of the UC, University of California system, Berkeley's one of them, Cal, went to Santa Clara. She was in my class. Before, her name is Janet Napolitano. Has anybody heard of Janet Napolitano?
No.
Okay, Janet Napolitano used to be head of Homeland Security. And before head of Homeland Security, she was the governor of Arizona. So I went to Santa Clara with her. Her father went to Santa Clara with my dad, and her dad went to high school with my dad. So Santa Clara is a small school, but it has prestigious people. Leon Panetta, who was head of the CIA, went to Santa Clara. So it's a small school. Dee Myers, who worked for Bill Clinton, went to Santa Clara. So there's a lot of people that went to Santa Clara, and I can still hear clicking. So, so what I want you to feel safe and secure is what I'm telling you leads to success. All you have to do is do what you learn in here. And it starts with remembering what we do. Why?
Because
Our brains are what?
programmed to forget 70%
Okay.
of what you learn.
Right, exactly. So our brains are programmed to forget 70% of what we learn every day. We're constantly, from our senses, we're constantly getting information coming into our brains. Our brains are not designed to be like a hard drive. They're designed to keep important information. But do you think our brains know what's important?
No.
No. You got to tell it what's important. So the way our brains work is we have little nerves in their cells called neurons. They're like trees, and they have branches. And where the branches touch other branches, that's where memories are stored. And just like on a tree, the thicker the branch, the better the communication. Or say it's like a river. The bigger the river, or the bigger the pipe, the more water flows through it, the more you remember. So an example would be if you're learning anybody play an instrument in here? Okay, so if you're learning an instrument, you have to learn the notes on the instrument, and you practice. And the more you practice doing it, the more automatic it becomes. So when you can read music, eventually you don't even need to think of, okay, what finger is that? Or how about typing? What is your typing speed? Shanice, what would you say? Chardonnay.
I'm not sure.
Okay. What?
Like 1,000 words
Per year?
Per second?
No. So if you can't type 35 words a minute, you're not going to be employable. That's the number today. But when you start typing, you have to figure out, okay, the S key, what finger is that? Hold up the finger that's the S key. Right? What's the T key? No.
What is it? That's number one.
The left hand.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It is the left hand. Okay. Good. So when you know how to type well, you don't have to think about it. Somebody just says W, right? Z, M. And you know where your fingers and brain are synced up. They know where they are. So you have to, so the difference between good students and not good students is good students remember more. And they remember because they take notes, as you said. They take notes, they review their notes. If you don't review your notes, you're going to forget 70% of what you learned today. If you don't listen, if you're daydreaming, if you're on Facebook, if you're doing your Gmail or you're doing email, you're not even going to hear anything. And I hope the people that are here for third week, fourth week, fifth week, come back because they get that there is value here. And I know there's value here. So I went to a good university. I also have a law degree. If this school was at UNLV, it would not be as good as it is here. So feel safe and secure that you're in the right place, you're in good hands. We know what we're doing, and what you have to do is you just have to remember. You have to take notes and remember. So there's a couple things we do. Number one, this video is being recorded, so you can always go back and watch the whole thing. And I'll get your emails later because we're going to do some exercises in Google Docs And so I'll add you to the list, and you can always go and watch these videos over again to help you remember. Number 2, you have your composition book or your notebook. But here's the key thing that's different from what you know about notebooks in the past. Every time you have a notebook here, it should be designed to keep what you learn. 5 years from now, if you want to go back and look at something on docs, or look at something you need to do in a job interview, you should be able to go back to your composition book and within 32 seconds find that page. And when you look at that page again, 5 years from now, you'll say, oh yeah, I kind of remember this. So, what does that mean in terms of your notes, Chardin? What do you have to do?
Keep your notes.
In what way? In what order?
Organized.
Yeah, you have to keep them organized. So we organize them just like it's a book. So on the front page, you open up your little book. On the front page, you write contents. Okay? You write contents. And then
This is a composition book, right?
well, Shaquall has one. I didn't have any to give you today.
Oh.
But I'll bring some next week, and you just have to transpose what you did
Okay.
from this week to next week. But just treat it like, pretend it's a book, and lay it out just like I'm saying. So you have a contents. The next below that, so that's the title of the page. Below that, write fundamentals, write Google Apps, write Google Docs. So Shaquall and Terrence, now you go to yours and you're going to add Google Docs, because that's what we're going to study today. So you missed maps, and what did we do the week, your first week, Shaquall?
We had the Chrome.
Chrome. Okay, so you missed Chrome and maps, but that's okay because we'll go through it in 8 weeks, every 8 weeks. So Google Docs. And you should have a page called Important Information. Okay, so this is on, and we only write on the right side of our book, on the right page. The left page is for later when you want to go back and review notes or think of something. Now, after you have this on your book, skip a page, go to the next page, and at the top of that page, put fundamentals. And at the bottom of the page, you put number 1. Okay? Then go to the next page, and you say Google Apps, and that's on page 3. And these are the right side. And then on your contents page, you put 1, 3, 5. And next week, I'll try to remember to bring one of my. Let's check. Let's see. Okay, no, no. I'll bring one of my books next week, and you can see how it looks, but it looks the same. So then on page 5, Vanessa, what would you think is on page 5?
Google Maps.
Google Docs.
Oh.
Okay, Google Apps is on page 3. Google Docs is on page 5. Important information is on page 7. Now for Shaquall and Terrence, their books would be different because they started weeks ago. But if you want to find something in the future, like if I said, okay, Chardin, 5 years from now, you have your book, I say, okay, what page is Google Docs on?
Then I'll say page 5.
You'd say page 5, yeah, you'd pull your book out and you'd say it's on page 5.
Okay.
Okay, now that only has meaning if you have 140 pages worth of stuff in your book. Okay, it's easy right now to remember stuff, but what's on page 3 of your book, Terrence? Oh, you don't remember, you don't have your book.
Right now.
It would be Gmail.
Okay. So, because Shaquall was here 2 weeks ago, she has Gmail on that page in her book. All right? So every time we talk about a new subject, you start a new page, you write at the top of the page, you get your page number, you go back to the contents page and you write it on the contents page. So in the future, if you want to find out what's on page 29, where do you go? You go to your contents page. And it's going to tell you this is what's on page 29. But usually you'll say, I need to know something about Google Maps. You go to your contents page, you scroll down, it says Google Maps, and you read it. Okay? So, one advantage you'll have over everyone else at work is nobody else does this. Nobody else does this. We have people that leave school, they graduate from school, they get a job at 7-Eleven or something like that. They take their composition book. When they start telling them, okay, here's how we load the freezer, they take out their composition book, they write at the top, here's how we do the freezer. What do you think the supervisor thinks when somebody's sitting there taking down notes and writing?
But they're seriously paying attention.
Yeah, how does that make them look compared to everyone else who's just sitting there saying, yeah, I know how to do it. My fingernails good? You know, how do they think that that's a better employee? So when somebody's going to get a promotion, who's that going to be? Okay. Now maybe cleaning out the refrigerator isn't a good example, but what about doing certain things on the 10-key computer, like how you log in? What's your passcode? Stuff like that. Our bane at the school is students start, they get a passcode for their account, and the very next day they say, I can't remember my passcode. So if I'm an employer, what do I think?
If you didn't memorize it or keep it in possession?
Yeah, that you're not a good person if I have to tell you again something so basic as the passcode to your computer, you don't remember it, you didn't write it down. But it never would, at a job, it would never get to that level because that person wouldn't be hired. What you need to know and understand is that people who do interviews, when you're in an interview, if it's for a good company, you're being interviewed by somebody whose job it is to find out, to interview you. And what would you say, Vanessa, that the primary job of the person interviewing you is? If you go and get into an interview, what's that person trying to find out?
If I can do the job?
No. Because your resume already says you can. You want to be at the interview.
If I can remember things and have good communication.
No. Because your resume already says that, right? Would you turn in a resume, Shaquall, that said, I can't remember things?
No.
No. So they're already, there's 400 people that apply for every good job now, at least. If you're one of the 10 people who's interviewed, they already think that stuff that you just said. Why do they think that? Because your resume says that, right? That's why they selected you out of 400 people. You're one of 10 people that gets to have an interview.
So would you say they're looking for stuff that's not in the interview?
No, because you wouldn't be in the interview.
They want to see
I mean, not in your resume.
They want to see if the person who wrote the resume is really who they see
Yeah.
in front of them.
They want to make sure that this resume is you, because I like this person. This person might get a job here. Now, you're the person who answered the phone and said, this is you. I need to see that this is you. And what else do I need to do besides see you? I got to verify, right? Right? I got to verify this is you. Because maybe you had somebody write your resume for you. You think anybody does that? Okay, maybe you used a template. Maybe you typed it. But maybe somebody gave you one and said, hey, here's a really good resume. You think anybody does that?
Yeah.
You think anybody doesn't do that? Do you think many people start from scratch and say, I'm going to invent my own resume? No. They copy things. So the fundamental purpose of the interview is, are you this person on this little piece of paper I'm holding? I need to figure out whether you are. And I get graded well or bad. Because if I hire you, if you fool me, because that's what the employer says, how did that person fool you in the interview? Why did you hire that person? Well, because I thought they were good, whatever. Okay, they had a good interview. Do you think the interviewer wants to get yelled at for hiring the wrong person? No. So you have to think in terms of they're just there, you're there, and they're there in the interview because they want to make sure you are the person. And do they think you're always going to tell the truth?
No.
Yes.
No, they don't. If they say to you, did you write this resume, and you didn't, and you think if you say no, and they're going to say, well, bye, are you going to say, yes, I didn't write it? You might try to fool them, right? You might try to fool them, make them think it's you. So there's a game going on. In Mad Magazine, it's called Spy versus Spy. You're trying to get them to think you're the right person for the job, and they're trying to find out if you are the right person for the job, because it becomes very important for the employer to hire the right people, because it's too expensive to keep training people. And every time one person who gets hired gives a bad customer experience, what does that relate to? So let's say when you're selling cigars, if you're rude to one guy, what happens from that?
It's like a trickle effect.
It's a big trickle effect. It's more like throwing a rock into a pond, right? It just spreads out in waves. And pretty soon it gets the other way. So they'll ask you questions. So, Charday, do you send resumes out every week? Anybody here looking for a job?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you send resumes out? Okay, how many? So pretend I'm the interviewer. Are you looking for a job?
Yes.
Okay, good, good. So you're diligent at that. Do you send very many resumes out?
Yes.
How many?
I'll say I at least send like 4.
Okay, well 4 is not a lot. Okay, 4 is not a lot. Oh, she's pulling a Kelvin.
Right.
Okay, 4 is not a lot. Do you think 4 is a lot?
No, I think I should be sending out more.
Okay. Okay, so right now in my mind it's what? Are those good answers or bad answers?
It depends.
On what? Okay, that's a good
If
answer. If you went to
they're
law
for a
school.
day
Huh?
or something, it depends, like, if you send out 4 a day.
Did you mean 4 a day or 4 a week?
For a day.
Okay, 4 a day. How many days have you done that for?
I do it every week. Yeah, every week.
4 a week? Okay, so now I'm the interviewer. I'm getting confused. I don't know how many resumes you send out.
Go so far and you send out 4. Like, you're the only employer I've
Oh,
sent
you just
4.
started doing it this week?
Yeah.
Okay, so one thing is you always want to be clear.
Oh.
Now, what I'm trying to figure out is, do you want to work for us or do you just want a job?
What work for you?
Why? Okay, so it's over. Okay? Because I'm just hoping one of the other 9 people cares more about us than you do. I get, I'm the interviewer. I get you want a job. I get that. My company wants to hire people who want to work here, not people who just want a job. Okay, so the key thing in an interview is, I want to keep this high level. So the important thing is to get, they're just there to see if you're the person on the resume, and they're there to trick you if they need to. Here's another thing they say. They have your resume in your hand, they say, let's say job B, working at Hetzapetza. They say, tell me about Hetzapetza. Have you had a job? Have you ever had a job?
No.
Okay, so let's pretend it's called Hetzapetza. In law school, that's always a name they use for fictitious companies. You worked at Hetzapetza. Good, tell me about working at Hetzapetza. And they're looking at your resume and you need to tell them about Hetzapetza, right? Now, if you didn't write your resume, somebody else wrote it, you're not really going to be sure what they wrote, right? Okay, so here's the thing that an interviewer might do just to test to see whether you wrote the resume. They'll say, well, that's not what it says here. What do you say now?
It's just
I'm
like
saying-
that, I wrote it.
Okay.
Wait.
They're just throwing that out because we're playing poker here. I don't know if you're telling the truth. You don't know if I'm telling the truth. You might be bluffing. I might be bluffing. A lot of people don't write their resume. So if it says this, I say, well, that's not what it says here. They're just throwing out to see what you say, how you respond. Most people who don't write their resume, not most, virtually everyone who did not write their resume, when they're told that's not what it says here, they are kind of like in a state of shock because they don't know what to say. They weren't expecting that. And what the guy sees in their brain is, oh, they're trying to think of something to say right now. Okay, so that's the game that you're playing when you're in an interview. Best person prepared. So that means you have to remember stuff. And if you're somebody who's there and you look like you're detail-oriented, you write stuff down because you know you don't remember. You think people who go to Stanford don't take notes? It's always interesting to me at school is our students have to be reminded to take notes. When I was in school, and when I see people who go to good schools, they aren't really looking at the professor. They're not really even writing. They're typing their notes. Everybody has a laptop. They're just furiously typing away everything that is said because it helps them remember. How would it help you remember if you're taking notes? What's going on? What senses are you using if you're taking notes?
What senses?
Listening,
You're hearing. What else?
paying attention.
Well, but that's your listening, right?
You can be seeing, you can be, right?
Okay, maybe they're saying, maybe I'm writing something on the board.
Right.
But what happens when you're writing?
Then you're not seeing.
You're repeating
Yeah.
what you hear because you have to tell yourself what to write, right? Then what happens as you're writing? What are you looking at? The words you're writing. So you hear it, you see it, you repeat it in your brain, not out loud, hopefully. You repeat it in your brain. Your muscles, you have a little bit of what's called muscle memory starting to happen there, taking notes. So you remember more when you're taking notes because you're doing the same thing 3 different ways versus 1. Also, when you're taking notes, what do you have to do? Starts with an F. Focus, right? It's hard to focus. You are mainly in a generation of multitasking, right? Doing a lot of things at once, okay? It's hard if you're just listening to not have your brain go off over here. When you're taking notes, is it easy to have your brain go over here?
No,
No. Why?
because you're focused on.
Because you can't write. Your hand stops writing when you do that. So we spend a lot of time the first hour focusing on fundamentals. I also played baseball in college. And you don't get to play baseball in college unless you played baseball when you were young, as an early teenager, in high school. And when you do that, when you play, you practically do the same thing every day. Every practice starts out the same way. How do you think it starts out? Warm up. Okay? You might stretch first or play catch. You know, when you get into college, you're stretching first. But then after you do that, then you play catch. And then you break up and you do other things. But it's the same thing. You start with the fundamentals. So we do the same thing here in terms of the important thing is to remember what you are learning. Because if you don't remember what you learn, it's the same as not learning it. And it's hard for us to keep focus on what we're learning. If we don't take notes, it's going to be easy to lose focus. And if we don't take notes, it's going to be impossible to go back and review your notes. So if you're going to forget 70% of what you learned today, if you don't review it, how are you going to review it if you're not taking notes? How would you do it?
You can't.
How would you
It's
know?
impossible.
Well,
You have to rely on what you know, really.
okay, so one thing they do in college is they have study groups. At good colleges, not UNLV. Okay.
That's crazy.
But yeah,
Are you guys UNLV fans?
Is that the only college
Kinda.
out here or something?
No.
UNLV?
Well,
CSN is even worse.
yeah,
Oh.
it's the community.
Where are you from, originally?
LA,
What part?
like the like South Central area.
Okay, so we have a school in Santa Fe Springs.
Okay.
And anyway, so yeah, UNLV is the only school here, and it's really a continuation of high school, because it really is.
Hey, I live across the street.
Huh?
I live across the street.
Okay, good. So maybe that's good. But if you go to UNR, what did they say about UNLV?
Never heard of it. This is the first
No,
time I heard it.
Reno? University of Nevada,
Oh,
Reno?
I've heard of it.
So that's the much better academic
Reno?
school.
Are they?
Yeah, academically.
Reno's what, like an hour away?
A
No,
few hours.
Like 8 hours.
driving. It's in northern Nevada
Is an hour.
on the California border. Anyway, time is racing. So I'm from California too, but I'm from the Bay Area. I was born in Oakland.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Oakland?
I like the Bay.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so back to our thing. So if you're not going to remember 70, so one way to do it is study groups. So you get together afterwards and you say, boy, wasn't that stupid or whatever. You know, wasn't that good? Here's the part I liked. Remember, he said, what about that? How many cells do we have? How many cells do we have in our body?
15 billion.
850.
There's no number.
Yeah, there is. It's not an infinite number. Okay, so our bodies are made up
We
of
have
what?
A million, a trillion,
lot of
100 trillion cells.
Okay, our bodies are made up of cells, right? Did everybody know that? Okay, where they're made up of little tiny cells. There's 100 trillion of them, about 100 trillion, not exactly. Not exactly, I'll tell you how they count it. Not exactly. Not exactly 100 trillion, but about 100 trillion. Now, Vanessa, how many of those cells know who you are?
Know who I am?
All of your cells know who you are? They say, oh, I belong to Vanessa. I'm Vanessa's cell.
Well, yeah, I guess
Okay, that's what a lot of people think. The answer is what, Lisa?
No.
You don't know?
No, I'm saying no.
Know what? How many
No,
know
they
who
don't
you are?
know who you
Yeah,
are.
none of your cells know who you are. They don't know who you are. How many of them do you think care who you are? Right, none of them care who you are. What do they do? What are they? They're like little robots. They're cellular robots. They just do what they're programmed to do. If it's a hair cell, it makes hair. If it's a fingernail cell, it makes fingernails. If it's in your heart, wherever it is, that's all they do. And the interesting thing is almost all cells replace themselves in 7 years. So every 7 years, none of the cells in your body are the same. Now, it's a little bit different for neurons. But so you really aren't the person you were 7 years ago, physically. Not one cell in your body is the same. It's like making a photocopy. And so one of the things is, what if you have an original, and you make a photocopy, and you make a photocopy of the photocopy, and you do that 10 times. What does the 10th version look like?
A fade.
Guess what happens when you get older? That's what happens with your cells, because they're making copies of the copy. And even though they try to make an exact copy, they can't always make an exact copy. So one of the problems about getting sunburned is the cells make a cell gets burned. Yeah.
Can I take this one part of the question, or do we just call?
Yeah. If you have to leave to make a call. So here's what happens when you get a sunburn. The cells replace themselves in a healthy way, right? How do you get cancer from sunburns?
Damaged cells.
Okay, so yeah, if you get a sunburn on top of a sunburn, Now there's no original cell to make a copy. So that's how some people get skin cancer, is because they were out in the sun too much, they got a sunburn, and then they got a burn on top of the burn, so the cells weren't able to make good copies. But we have 100 trillion cells in our bodies. None of them know who we are. None of them care who we are. Okay? Some cells program is just to remember. There are some cells that all they look for is the crossbar on a letter A. What is that? What's a crossbar on a letter A?
The bridge.
Okay, what's the letter A? A, right?
Oh.
This is the crossbar, right?
Yeah.
That's a crossbar on a letter A. Okay, the bridge, that's probably how you learn it in the first grade, right? Okay. So some cells in your brain are just looking for the crossbar on an A. And when they say that, they say to other cells, hey, I think there's an A. And other ones are looking for these letters and this letter. And then ultimately what happens is the guys that are looking for an E say, hey, I think there might be an E coming. And then that happens. And then you have other cells, other levels of cells that recognize words. Because what's going on in our brains that we are not even aware of is cells, neurons in our brains, millions of neurons in our brains, are just looking for this, or looking for these things, or looking for letters. So when you see a word, you don't say, huh, what is that funny shape of things on the wall? What's that funny shape of, oh, I remember that's a word, right? We don't do that consciously. But our brain cells are doing that for us automatically. So another example of that is, have you ever been in a crowded room and somebody says your name and you hear it? Why? How are you able to hear that? What's going on?
Can you recognize your name?
But you were talking to someone else.
But you recognize
You have cells in your brain that are constantly just waiting, listening to hear your name called. How do we know that? Because there's a machine that's called a functional MRI machine that measures blood flow. So they put you in this machine, and it's like a movie going on of what's going on in your brain. And they can do certain things or say certain things, and they'll see different parts of your brain light up. And if they do it over and over again, oh, it's the same spot, same. That must be the spot where there's funniness or where there's sadness. That's how we do it, is we measure stuff in the brain. So, and that's how they know about these cells and brains. Now, how do they know how many neurons are there?
8 billion.
Okay, so I just heard the number again. The number is 86.
It's all right.
86 billion neurons.
Exactly.
Almost. Well, for you, a little bit less.
That's
Okay. Now, about 16 billion are in our cerebral cortex. That's the part of your brain that has the squiggly part that kind of looks like a walnut. That's the outer layer of your brain. It's called the cerebral cortex. 16 billion are there, and about 70 billion are in the rest of your brain. They control things like hunger and whether you're happy or sad, your emotional stuff, fight or flight, that type of stuff. But these 16 billion do things like recognize language or get you to anticipate. So if I said to you, Charday, you like ice cream?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you think liver and onion ice cream would taste good?
No.
Why would you say that?
Because the word liver sounds really disgusting.
Okay. Because so we have the ability to imagine things. Do you think dogs can do that? Can they imagine liver and onion ice cream or anything? Can they imagine that in that house there could be food? Maybe I'll go in that house and get food? Not really.
You have to smell, right?
Yeah, but that's different than imagining things.
Right.
Yeah. Okay? So this is the kind of stuff that happens in our cerebral cortex. We can imagine things happening. We have a simulator in our brain. We don't need to experience them.
Cerebral cortex.
Cerebral cortex. Okay, so now let's start with our Google Docs. So let's go to the Google Docs page. And what I want you to do, if you haven't done this in your book, put an X on the page. Big X on your page.
Put an X on what? Oh.
This is Google Docs page.
Oh, put an X on my page.
Yeah, start with putting an X.
A big X.
Yeah, big X. Now, at our school, the reason we have high placement, well, we'll figure that out in a second. So, at our school, we teach people to get jobs that all businesses need. Customer service jobs, sales and marketing jobs, administration jobs, and accounting jobs. Jobs that every business that's for profit has people that are involved in administration. What's administration?
Office.
Office stuff, right. Who said that? Chardonnay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Office stuff. Accounting. What's accounting?
Money.
Money. Okay. Customer service. What's that?
People.
Dealing with people.
Phones. Dealing with people. Are you happy? We want you to be happy. And sales and marketing, which we know what that is. All businesses, all for-profit businesses do those things. That's what we teach our students to do. What if we taught our students motorcycle repair? How you doing? Okay, new student?
Yes.
Okay, you need to sign in. What's your name?
Jason.
What? Jason. Okay, Jason. Welcome. Okay, so a motorcycle repair. If you learn to be a motorcycle repairman, what jobs could you do?
Repairing motorcycles.
Right, that's it. If you learn accounting, what jobs could you do?
Money.
Any company, right?
Yeah.
Every company deals with that. How about if you learned how to do plumbing? What kind of companies could you get a job at?
Jobs are required.
Jobs that require plumbing, okay? If you know how to sell, where could you get a job?
So marketing.
Where else?
In the mall.
Huh? Virtually every
That's what
company.
I'm saying, everywhere.
If you know how to sell, you can get a job virtually everywhere. We have guys all ratted up, come to school, gauges. If they can sell, where could they get a job?
Anywhere.
Not anywhere. Okay, perfect. That's a good example. Tattoo parlor.
Oh.
They could sell. They go down to the beach. Hey, look at my new ink.
Right.
Where'd you get? Oh, I got this at the best place to get tattoos, right up the street. Here's a card. I'll put my name on it. Huh?
Advertising.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So we teach our students things that all businesses want. Now, so that's admin, accounting, customer service, sales, and marketing. Okay, that's what we teach. Now, what do you think you need to know how to do?
Mouthpiece.
What's the simplest thing you need to know how to do any of those?
Mouthpiece.
Training.
You need to know how to type.
Right.
If you can't type, you're not going to get a job today. Do you think you're going to get a job just because you can type?
No.
Why not?
Because everyone
knows how to type. And if you walk in and say, yeah, I just got my certificate at Arts and I type 45 words a minute, and you're competing with somebody who says, well, I type 45 words a minute, but I've been typing at a job for 10 years. Who's going to get the job if everything else is the same? Yeah, the one with the most time. The other thing you need to know how to do is you need to know Office, word processing, spreadsheets, things like that, to get a job today. Are you going to get a job just because you know how to do that?
No.
No, why?
Because everyone else.
Because everyone else that's going to be interviewed knows that. So to get a job today in an office, which leads to stable and financial employment, you need to know things that other people don't know. Does that make sense, Vanessa? If you know something the owner of that business wants that's going to make them more money or save them money, if you know that nobody else does, who's going to get the job?
I am.
Right. Okay, if everything else is the same, you have to communicate though. Okay, you have to be assertive. You can't say, me, I can do it. What does that mean if I say I can do it?
That 85%, that's okay.
If I say I can do it,
Oh.
I'm your person, hire me,
You're on the.
I'll do the best job. What am I saying? I'm giving mixed signals, right?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so we teach our students things that employers want but they don't have, that other people don't know. And that is called what?
The cloud.
The cloud. We teach people the cloud. And I can tell you, I can promise you, that if you learn the cloud, you have no problem getting good employment. If you can communicate that. If you know the cloud and you don't let them know you know the cloud, what happens?
You won't get the job.
You won't get the job. Why?
Because you don't know the.
Because they don't know that what you know, right?
Yeah.
If they don't know that you know the cloud, are they going to hire you?
No.
No. If they know you know the cloud, but they don't know what the cloud is, would they hire you? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they don't know what the cloud is, it has no
That's what I
value.
tell them.
Well, now they do know. Now they do know. Okay, I'm saying if they don't know. Okay, so we learned the cloud, and we use the Google cloud. We use Google for many reasons. One is Google's going to be around 20 years from now. They're taking over the world. Another thing is Google apps are free. Doesn't cost a company any money. Free. They're always being updated, unlike Microsoft. So it's easy when they do an update, it's easy to learn because it's just one new thing. Where Microsoft 10 comes out, and what happens? All of it looks way different. Okay, so we use Google Docs, and we have 8 Google apps. We use Google Apps. So this is your page that says Google Apps. If you put this on your page that said Google Docs, do what I did. Cross out the word Docs and write Apps. Because the page that has the X on it, we want to be Google Apps. Okay. So there's 8 apps. So Shaqual, what is one of them?
Calendar.
Calendar. Okay, Terrence? Gmail. Okay, does anybody have another one? Shaqual?
Google Plus.
Chrome.
Google Plus.
Shaquel
I'm
Terrence.
sorry about that.
Thank you, Shaqual.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Google Plus.
you already said another one. You said after Google Plus. What did somebody say?
YouTube?
YouTube. Okay, now, so that's 4, right?
Yep.
So now do this. Okay, what's another one?
Google Maps.
Maps, good.
Drive.
Drive. Okay,
Chrome.
Chrome, yeah,
Voice.
and voice. Okay, these are the 8 Google apps. That we do. There's a lot more than 8. But these are the 8 Google apps that we do.
Amelia, you have a client in the lobby. Amelia?
You guys don't know how loud clicking is. You think I don't hear you. It's not quiet. It might be quiet where your ears are. Where my ears are, it's not quiet. Okay, so YouTube, voice, calendar. Here? Here?
Yeah.
Google Plus,
Looks like Google.
Drive, Gmail, Maps. So that's the starting point. All of these apps are designed to be able to work together. So Calendar works with Maps, it works with Gmail, Drive, Chrome, YouTube, Voice. And so all of these do this, and what you end up with is a spider web. They're all designed to work together. Apple doesn't have this. Microsoft doesn't have this. Google is the place to do it. Also, Microsoft and Apple were started before there was an internet. Right? Did you guys know that?
No.
Yeah, so they were started before there was an internet. So they are not internet software things. Google was started because of the internet. It was started as an internet search, right? What did you say? Google it. So these are the 8 apps that we learned. Today, we're going to focus on docs. Well, wait a second, where's docs?
In the drive.
Right. So some apps have sub-apps. Drive has docs, sheets, forms. Okay, so now what Shaquall is bringing up is what the fundamental purpose is. What was Drive originally invented for? Would you think?
Yeah.
It's a virtual hard drive.
Yeah.
So Drive came from hard drive, but it's not really a hard drive because it's in the cloud. Instead of calling it cloud drive, they just decided we'll call it drive. So in the drive, you can save files. Can you save a video file?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
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 Can you save an audio file?
Yes.
Yeah. Word file? Text file? Yeah, you can save. If it's a file, you can save it on Drive. Can you run it from the drive?
Yes.
Yes.
No, not necessarily. Drive is just storage. You need a program. You might need a program or an app to run the file. So if it's an audio file, you can't run it from the drive. If you click on it, it might cause your audio player to play. If it's a video file, if it's a YouTube file that's stored on your drive and you click on it, what's going to happen? What will happen? You have a YouTube file saved in your drive.
It'll direct it to YouTube.
Right, it'll launch YouTube and then the file will launch. Okay, so Drive was just created to store documents, but when they had documents stored, like Word files, somebody said, hey, wouldn't it be good if we could work on those files that we have saved on the drive? So they came out with these sub-apps. Now what's the benefit of having your files stored on a drive versus,
Access it anywhere.
right, where else would they have been stored? Originally.
Well, on your hard drive.
On your hard drive. Originally, I bought my first personal computer in 1980, maybe 1981. Yeah, 1981. Okay, bought it in 1981, and you couldn't store it on your computer. Where did you store it?
Or that little
Floppy
thing.
disk.
Yeah.
A floppy disk that was 5 1/4 inches wide, and it would hold about 256K of storage. And then they came out with what?
Hard drives?
No,
No.
3.5 inch floppy drives that were in a plastic case.
Even like keychains.
Keychain.
Well, after that
Oh.
came hard drives. Then came out little thumb drives.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, but that's like generation number 5. Okay. The key thing though is your information was either on your computer or on some kind of a drive. With the cloud, where's your information?
In your docs.
Everywhere.
Where is it?
In the cloud.
Yeah, it's somewhere out there. We don't know where it is. It's stored. It's stored somewhere out there.
It's floating.
It's not floating. It's on a hard drive somewhere. You just don't know where it is. Okay, we don't know where. That's why it's on the cloud.
Right.
So the benefit of that is anywhere you go that you can access the internet, what can you access?
Your information.
Jason, what can you access?
You can access everything.
Everything, exactly. You can access everything. If you have internet access, you can access everything. And so then you don't need a laptop, right? So what is this? Nope.
Well, what are you pointing at?
I'm pointing at this thing I'm holding in my hand.
Oh, that's a lap.
Nope.
Oh, that little like sticker thing?
No, this thing.
That little
The
sticker
keyboard.
thing?
No, this whole thing.
Oh, the software.
No, what is this thing called?
The brain.
A board.
A monitor. Computer.
That's your hard drive?
Device.
A tablet.
It's a Acer.
No.
It's a Chrome.
What does that say?
Chrome.
This is a Chromebook.
You said that. Oh.
Okay, that's a Chromebook. So this is the generation after laptops. There's no hard drive on that. There's not a lot you can do with that unless you have internet access. You can do some things, but there's not a lot you can do. But the beauty of it is, A, it's very cheap. It's like $150. B, it's really fast. How long does it take for a laptop to get started?
5 minutes.
About 3 minutes. About 3 minutes. This takes about 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Maybe less, if you already have an internet connection. You open it up, goes out, finds the internet, boom, you're there. Serious, on skin.
You need that.
Huh?
You
Okay.
say that again, sir?
Huh?
You say that again?
Which part?
That's what you just said.
Okay, it takes about 30 seconds for this to be running. Open up the top, 30 seconds or less. Or do you mean about it's on skin, that part?
No, that 30
Or
seconds.
the part before that?
The 30 seconds.
The 30-second part, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta let it process.
It's really fast, because all it's designed to do is get to the cloud. You've already programmed your account in there. I don't. I have mine set up so you have to put in your password. But you could have it set up so it doesn't have a password. Get on the internet, open it up, finds the internet, goes to your account immediately. That's the future. So we're working with Google to try to get these in prison, so everybody in prison has a Chromebook, because that's the best place to learn how to.
They have laptops
Why
in
not
prison?
schools?
No, they
Why
don't.
prison?
Oh,
You say y'all gonna do that?
We're working with Google to do that. Yeah.
to like bring them to prison?
Yeah.
Everybody gonna
Wow.
So next week, when I come in here, I might say we just opened our first campus inside of a prison, which means our school will be one of the only schools in the whole country that actually has a school, a campus in the prison.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is you're trying to open up a school in the prison?
We have permission to do it. We are going to do it next week,
And
hopefully.
like desert?
Yeah, well, Southern Desert in December.
Mm.
Casa Grande, are you familiar with Casa Grande?
No, that's not like desert.
Okay, so Casa Grande is a state prison that's in the city of Las Vegas. It's on Russell and Valley View. Anybody know where that is? Okay, it's right near there, Russell and Valley View. So there's a state prison here. It's a low security. Students get to leave there in the morning and come to our school. We're going to be putting the campus inside the prison, hopefully next week. And then we're going to be doing Southern Desert in hopefully December, November, December.
So once they complete something, they get to come home a little earlier or something?
That's one of the things, but the idea is that Southern Desert, when you are 2 months before you get out, you start school. And the first 2 months when you get out, you finish school and you get a job.
Right, just so you can have like the vacation or something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I can.
And what we
That's pretty
teach
cool.
is the same thing that we do here, except our school is 5 days a week, 7 hours a day. It's from 8 o'clock to 3:30, 5 days a week for 16 weeks. So just imagine if you had to do this
Right.
7 hours a day, 5 days a week for 16 weeks. Okay, so what we're doing in here for 2 hours, huh?
I said you have some knowledge.
Yeah.
That you can come out.
We have a tremendous amount.
Right.
So one of the things that the state of Nevada wants to do is nobody gets out of prison until they know how to type. Or when everybody gets out of prison, they know how to type. So that means now they're not sentenced to having only non-typing jobs, which are disappearing. getting harder and harder to have a job when you don't know how to type. Okay, but anyway, for our purposes, back to this. So we teach our students how to use the cloud because all businesses want to get to the cloud. Why do all businesses want to get to the cloud?
Because you have access to the files and information right then and there instead of downloading.
Okay, that's too long.
Oh, okay.
Okay, what are the two things businesses want?
Money and save money.
Make money, save money. So what do you think the cloud helps you do?
Save money, make money.
Yeah, you can make money. The cloud enables you to make money and save money faster. How? How do businesses make money? You need to know this if you want to get a job.
Any employers?
Not employers,
Promoting.
not employees. They need what? You're on the right track. Here's our target. You're on the target. We need you to move to the bullseye. You've been pretty good at that so far. Okay, what do businesses want? To make more money.
Oh,
They want to sell more sales.
To what? To who?
customers.
What are customers, right?
More customers.
The cloud helps you get more customers.
Yeah, a lot of advertising.
Okay, it helps you get more customers. The more customers you have, the more money you can what?
Save. I mean,
Make.
make.
Okay?
Oh, my bad.
The cloud also helps you be more efficient.
Right.
So that enables you to what?
Save.
Save money, right. Okay, the cloud helps you save money. Why? Because it has these apps on there that make it more efficient. And today we're going to focus on this one down here called Docs. Okay, so what we need to do now is get our computers going. We need to get onto Docs. So, new people, do you have a Gmail account?
Yes. I do, but I don't know. I don't know
It's
if
another
it's
one of
like,
these crazy names.
yeah, something like that.
What's his,
Okay, so you need to get, okay, hint for everybody, you need to have a professional sounding Gmail.
Just say if you have a Yahoo now.
Okay, if you're an employer, when they're looking at these resumes in the first 5 seconds, when they're going through 400 resumes, how long do you think they spend on a resume? How
An
long?
hour? 2 hours?
On each resume? You mean they're going to spend 400 hours?
1 minute. No, not even 1 minute, like 30
That's
seconds.
probably like 30 minutes. And
No,
30 seconds.
no,
1 minute.
no.
10 seconds.
Let's say they spent a minute. They got 400 resumes, and let's say they got 360.
Oh, wow.
Okay, they have 360 resumes times 1 minute equals how many minutes?
360
Okay,
minutes.
how many hours is that?
That's 3 hours. No, 4 hours. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Oh, that's not even 4 hours. My bad.
How many, Jason, how many hours is that?
you want to do 60 hours?
No.
No, 360 minutes.
That's 4 hours.
That's about like 60 hours.
4. I'm right.
Close. No.
3 hours and a half.
I said that.
How many minutes in an hour?
60.
Okay. So what's 360 divided by 60? I'll make it easy.
6.
36 divided by 6.
6. I said.
Huh?
I said 6 hours.
Yeah, you were saying 4. I know it's 4.
I was supposed to first time. I said what 3 times.
I didn't hear you say it. I thought you said 60.
No, I said that last time.
Okay, so it's 6 hours. So good. Jason gets another one. 6 hours. Do you think they're going to spend 6 hours to find 10 people to interview?
No.
No. How long do you think they're actually going to spend?
10 seconds.
The guy's going to go through 360 resumes.
Oh, no.
in
Oh, I
10
thought you meant
seconds.
one resume at a time.
No. How much time are they going to spend?
Like 1 hour.
Yeah, probably about an
Sorry
hour.
about that. I thought you meant 1.
So what they're going to do with your resume is they're going to pick it up, or they're going to put it up on their screen, and they're going to say, is this perfect? And they're going to say, if you can't send in a perfect resume, I'm not going to waste time reading your resume. Because I got 360 resumes, I know there's probably 300 of them look perfect. So the resume has to look perfect. If they're going to flip through really quick, and there's 3 piles they put them in, what are the 3 baskets?
One's
Hire.
maybe, one's
Not hire.
one's
And
interview.
We want to interview people.
One's interview, one's no interview, one's maybe, right?
Exactly. So there's 3 garbage cans that they're going to put them in.
Right, 3 cards. Or one girl.
Okay? Yes, no, maybe. Okay? And they're just gonna flip through. I need to get 10 people interviewed. The first time through, if he ends up with 10 yeses, I don't care about the maybes, and certainly I don't care about the nos. To get into here, your resume has to look perfect. Has to look perfect. They're just spacing. I'm saying they're not reading it, spacing. But the one thing they're going to look at is your name, and they're going to look at your email. If you have a goofy email, Kelvin, what is it, Master of the Universe 52, something like that.
His was the last king.
Okay. If you have a goofy email, they're not going to take you seriously.
Right.
Unless it's a clown company, some company that they don't want serious people.
Right.
So one thing they're going to care about is your email. So you should have an email that is your name and maybe some numbers after it. Okay, so the first time through, they're going to take maybe an hour. Yeah.
Can it be my last name and then the first two letters of my first name?
Yeah, you can do that. Okay. So
I have a question. When you
Yeah.
apply for a job, you can't use your Yahoo now?
you can, but Yahoo is not as professional as Gmail.
Oh,
So when they're grading things, they're like, let's say you go in
It was like 8.
to a job and they say, oh, do you have a car?
Do this for free.
And you say, yeah. And they say, well, what kind of car do you have? And you say, well, I have a,
Kia Optima.
what year?
Optima
What year?
5.
05? Okay. So they're going to say, okay, good. Now, what if you said, I have a 2015
Because
BMW?
this means
They're the ones that BMW.
Are they going to judge you better, differently?
No.
Yeah, they are.
see that.
Okay, they're going to think, wow, if you have a BMW, you're pretty sharp.
What? You know, lease those, okay.
Huh? Okay, now if you say I have a 2000 Kia, it's in prime condition because I do all the work on it myself, they could be impressed, right? If they see you pull out and you have a car where the paint's peeling off and there's all kinds of black smoke coming out of it, what are they going to think? Not good.
They're small.
Okay, so your email account fits in that same kind of category.
Yeah.
There were all these judging things. And so, I'm not saying Yahoo's bad. I'm just saying Gmail is better. That's all I'm saying. Gmail is better. You should always try to get the best, especially if it's free. Okay, now, let's see. I have Shaquall. Lisa, what is your email?
ELLEA_BYARD@yahoo.com.
Okay.
That was your thing that signed up.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, that's my Yahoo. Let me give you the Gmail.
Okay. Didn't I ask for Gmail? Didn't I say Gmail?
That's the one I used to
Because
do.
I thought I was losing my memory for a second.
Okay. Lisa, Lisa.
Yeah.
Byard07,
What?
BYARD 07@gmail.com.
I have a question if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Does Gmail still allow underscores?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's great. I can. Let me use
Okay.
it.
Next, Jason. You have a Gmail?
I got Yahoo.
Okay. All right. What is it?
Jason Benoit.
Nick MC
BENYT.
JASON.
BENYT.
Oh. At Yahoo.
No, 12. Yahoo.com.
Okay.
Shamisha,
Okay. Yeah.
Finkley, FIUK,
FIK.
NK,
Okay.
0605 @gmail.com.
Okay. Okay. Charday.
Yeah, it's Sharde, SHARDE, and then an underscore, Woods, WOODS,
What?
Wood.
Woods, okay.
Yeah. At yahoo.com.
Charday_woods@yahoo.com?
Yes.
Okay,
I have a Gmail, but it's like for something else.
okay. Vanessa,
Oh, mine's on the paper, but it's Muniz Vanessa.
okay, good, now, okay, this is a good example of something. Another thing, important notes, things to know. The most important thing in an interview is to follow instructions. So if the person says to you, what's your email? Don't say, it's on my resume.
Okay.
Okay, they already know that. Okay, they know that. Huh?
In an interview, I'm not going to do that.
Well, this is like, you gotta practice here.
Okay,
Okay.
got it. It's Muniz, M-U-N-I-Z.
What? This is what the interviewer is gonna do. What, huh? Because they're testing to see how you respond.
Yeah.
You know, are you gonna be one of these persons? I already told you. Is that person gonna get a job?
I'm pretty patient.
Hmm?
I'm pretty patient. It's M-U-N-I-Z,
M-U-N-I-Z
then Vanessa.
at,
50,
huh?
50
50.
at gmail.com.
Okay. Okay, good. So, and then I have your two. All right, so I'm going to add you 5 to our list, so you'll have access to the video for today. And then every day when we send out things of what's going on in school, at the real school, you can follow it if you want. Shadia, who I don't know if anybody knows her, she likes keeping up with what we do, so getting a free education. Okay, so what we're going to focus on with docs is creating a doc and collaborating. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move to here, and everybody should try to see what I'm doing. Okay, we're not set up here with the big screen TV, or I can be doing it up at the front, but that's how we'll do it here. So what I want everybody to do is to go to their Gmail.
I don't got no Gmail.
Oh yeah, or your Yahoo, or go to your email account.
Yeah.
In fact, oops. Okay, so you're on your Yahoo. Okay, so that's another thing employers don't like. Smoking. Why not?
Because you're removing yourself from your job duties.
Well, it's not so much that, it's more of health insurance reasons.
You talking about cigarettes?
Yeah, I made the comment.
Oh, okay.
I know. But sometimes it's better to smoke than choke. I'm getting a little agitated.
Okay. All right, so Google apps are made to work in Chrome. What is Chrome?
It's like part of Google.
It's a browser.
It's a browser, right. So Chrome is Google's browser. What you should do for the future is okay, good, just checking. What you should do for the future is not use Internet Explorer. Google apps are made to run in Google Chrome. That's where they run the best. Who has a smartphone here? Okay. Who doesn't have an iPhone? Anybody have an iPhone?
No, you said Justin?
Yeah.
I don't have an
Okay. Who does have an iPhone?
Oh, I don't.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
What is the operating system on your smartphone?
It's
Chrome.
Google.
Called what? No.
I don't even know.
And
Hands-free?
Android, right, Android.
You said hand?
And
Oh, sorry.
Android.
My bad.
I knew you. So Google Android, or Android is the operating system for phones. It's the browser, it's the operating system. And who makes that?
The companies.
Huh?
The companies.
Google. Google,
Really?
yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so again, another reason to use Google and use Google Chrome. So your machine should enable you to get to Google Chrome. Okay, so some of the things to not do when you have stuff is do not click the button that says remember me or save this password on the computer. That is a very bad habit to get into. When you go to work, one of the things that employers check for to see if you're a good employee is, do you have the computer save the password? Why is that not good?
Because if someone gets your email, they can access your information.
Oh, if somebody can log on to your computer, they now have access to everything that you did. So I'm in Google Chrome. I've signed in, so this is my daily calendar. This is the school calendar for Chrome. This is where we are right here, down here. But I want to get to, if either of you want to move over here, well, how about if we move the tables forward a little bit?
It's going to pull the wire.
Yeah, the wires are here. You're moving closer to the front. Well, we'll do that. Okay, forget that idea. All right, so just do the best you can. So I want to get to Google Docs. Where is Docs located? So this is now you go to your, now you have your page called Google Docs. Go to your page in your book called Google Docs.
You go to your Google Drive.
How do I get to my drive?
You would go through your apps.
No.
The three thing.
Three things.
I mean, on the right-hand corner.
Okay. So the 9 square grid.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the best way. So one of the things to know about Google is there's always more than one way to do things in Google. We want to focus on the best way. So when you're in Chrome, or you're in an application in Chrome, so I'm looking at my calendar, you go to the 9 square grid. And when that pops up, what do you have there?
Maps,
Yeah, a whole bunch of Google apps. Not all of them. What does it say down at the bottom? More. You click on more, now what?
Even more.
Even more. You click on even more, what do you have?
A list of all.
There's about 50 different Google apps on here. Okay? But I don't care about that. Okay? I care about Docs. Now, if I click on the 9 square grid, does it say Docs in there?
No.
No.
So you gotta press drive.
Exactly. So I go to my drive. And what is in the drive?
More apps.
No.
Sub apps.
Files.
Files.
In the center are all the files that you have. Over on the left is your navigation. Okay, now if you don't have a Gmail account, you're not going to get here. Okay? So you're going to want to make sure you get a Gmail account.
Okay.
Now I'm going to take a little detour. I'm going to take a detour to Google Plus. Who here has Google again?
I do.
How many views do you have?
Oh, views?
For me?
A lot.
On my
A lot.
views on Google Plus?
What is a lot? Yeah.
Almost 20,000.
Okay. Not bad.
Hold on. I'm looking at a lot of stuff.
Okay, so here's the circle for this class. I'm going to add people to the circle.
I have 13,000.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. MUNIZ.
You mean YouTube?
Oh, not YouTube. Is that YouTube?
Okay, Vanessa, you're at Gmail?
That's
Yes.
Oh, on Google. Oh, that's not touching on. Let me see.
It's not Munez.Vanessa, just Munez Vanessa, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, there you are, Vanessa Gould. Vanessa Gould,
Yeah.
that's your street name?
No, not really. I just put it because
Oh, see, mine's on.
Okay. Yes? Jason?
Van of D.
Van,
Of D.
Van LD,
No, Van of D.
Van of D,
Yeah, with capital letters.
just the letter D?
No, I said Van of D.
Oh, damn.
Like money van.
Rubber band.
Oh, Van,
And
of,
Up.
D.
Oh,
D is in David,
Yeah.
just the letter D?
No, D-E-E.
Oh. At Gmail?
No, that's it.
No, I need your G, is this,
Oh, right there?
do you have a
Yeah.
Gmail account?
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna put this in. Jason, BENOT 12 at Yahoo. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna get an email from me. Is that your last name?
Yeah.
Is that French?
Yeah.
Okay, Jason. Okay, next, Lisa. Okay, there you go, Elisa Byard. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, Elisa.
Elisa. I have a daughter.
Should everyone else
I have a
be
daughter
added?
named Elise.
Should we be adding people as well?
I didn't do it.
Should we be adding people too?
Or do you want to add?
Well,
Yeah, I'm saying should we?
I think it's good to have a circle. Okay.
Are you on G?
I'm not adding nobody there.
No, in the Larson.
No, you don't have to, it's optional. But you can join the circle itself. Those people, if they attend in that community, if they attend in that circle, then you all will be on together. But they don't have to be any type of associate, because I'm not.
Yeah, that's already like
Okay, so this is just my circle. This is my circle that I've added people to. Now, let's see. Charday.
Oh, to the circles.
You gotta make it. You got one point.
That means for me.
You have a Google Plus, your phone on the memory has it, so you can add.
Okay, Jason, Charday, Shanisha, Lisa. Okay. Okay, good. All right, so I took a detour. Now let's go back to our drive, and we're going to create a document. Okay? How do we create a document? How do we create a document?
Oh, wait.
Create
I'll
new.
compose.
Okay, so we go to the red button that says New. You're in your drive. Huh? Yours says Create?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's an older version of Chrome. Okay, so we push New. New what?
New.
Click on Create New or Create or New. What comes up?
Oh.
Folder, file upload, folder upload, Google Docs.
Okay, Google Docs. So click on Google Docs.
I was on, my bad, you were right, I was on the wrong thing. I was on the calendar.
Now, the first thing you always want to do when you get to Google Docs, so this is just like Word. So anybody who doesn't know Google Docs, the commands and everything are like Word. The difference is, Word, you can do a lot more in Word than you can in Docs. Docs, you can do 90% of what you need to do 90% of the time. So Docs is usually good enough to do everything you need to do. The first thing you do in Docs is you've got to create a document name for the document. So in the upper left, it says Untitled Document. just type something in there. Okay, once you do that and you hit enter, your tab changes the name to that.
Upper left.
Okay.
The upper left. Create a document. So what are you trying to do? Name?
Templates.
You have a name for it? Did you have a name?
Oh, that.
Right there, upper left.
I was looking for it. Okay.
Okay, so untitled document. Good. Now, how do I save a document in Docs?
Go to file and save.
No.
You can move it to a folder.
How do I save it?
All changes saved in Drive.
Right. So one of the beautiful things about Docs is you never have to save a file.
That's what said nothing.
What?
That's what said nothing.
Nothing. What do you mean
That's
nothing?
what
Yeah.
it says on there.
Well, it's automatic. Okay, you don't have to do anything to save a document. So, what do you want to do when you, how do you close a document?
You just
You close it out.
Just close it, right?
How?
It just can't cancel.
You close the tab.
Tab.
You go to the X on the right side of the tab and you just close it. So I'm going to close this document. Boom, it's closed. Now I want to get it back. I find it in my directory on my screen, double click on it. Oh, that was one from earlier today. Not that one. So I have a lot of things from today, so I'm going to go to recent, and it's the second one I have in there, and there's my document. Okay, so one of the beautiful things about Google Docs is it's easy to use. Another thing is it's always saving the document. You don't have to worry about losing a document. What we're going to do, though, is we're going to go to collaboration. Okay, so now I'm going to add people in here to it.
We're in add-ons.
So if I want to add people, I go to the right corner, the blue button that says Share. Okay, so Shaqual, what is your email?
SHAQAL
Yeah.
S7
Okay, right. Shaqual.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Before we back, ask me the Gmail. I don't know what you're doing now.
What?
He just made a Gmail.
Oh, okay. What is it?
Ban of D.
Ban of
D.
DEE. DEE.
Ban of D12.
Okay, and is D just the letter D or DEE?
DEE.
Okay. 12
Yes.
at Gmail.
Yes.
Incoming call from E. Bevilacqua, Senior.
Okay,
You got it?
good. Yeah.
Good question. You said that you was going to send us all a message, right?
Yeah, so I'm adding you to this document.
Okay.
Oh, well, if you checked your email, there should be something there inviting you to my circle.
Okay. I'm probably just going to have to like sign off and then sign back on.
All you have to do is post your Gmail. And then post it or whatever you want to it, it'll directly to your email. So just scan it. And then
And does this class once a week?
Yes,
Okay, so what, every Wednesday at 1?
yep.
Okay, so. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Would it be like the spams or something?
Hmm?
I said, would it be in like spam or something?
Shouldn't be. Okay, now, what I want everybody to do is go to their Gmail account, and you should have a Gmail from me, because I shared this document with you. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So
It's
go to your
just like
Gmail,
that.
right? Open it. Okay, good. So you gotta sign in.
You can sign in Google, Jay, okay.
Try it,
Right? Well, I have one.
okay? So Vanessa, click on that first file.
I have a Gmail, just welcome me.
Click.
Let me try that.
Well, I shared it with your
Yeah.
Charday Woods. Okay,
Okay.
good. So Vanessa has it. How about you?
I don't know how to do it.
Your Gmail?
I just did it.
Okay, go to your Gmail.
I don't know Gmail. I don't even know how to
There you are.
Oh, that's
Oh,
amazing.
okay.
You can sign here in Google Yahoo. Did you know that?
What?
What happened?
I put
I
band
don't
up,
have
not
Yahoo,
band
I
up.
don't use that.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'll fix that. Okay,
I
now,
have like a Hotmail and stuff.
Terrence,
Yes, sir.
go to your Gmail, please.
Okay.
Oh, this is where,
And you should have an email from me. Click on the blue thing.
what?
Oh,
Okay.
now you can edit this.
Okay.
Everything.
Paul,
I'm going.
Lisa, go to your Gmail.
Oh, yes, it's beautiful.
Okay. So you can see now on the upper right, you can see who else is on that document.
Yeah.
Pictures or symbols. Okay, I'm going to add in band up D.
Stop clicking. Oh,
You have a pretty cool picture, Edward.
What do you mean?
Mr. Edward.
Which picture?
I was looking at like the picture right here popped up and it's like you looking all cool and
Swag.
stuff.
Oh, well, that's me.
It's like,
Oh, that's you. Yeah.
That's how I
it's
roll.
like, what can I
Okay.
say?
I can roll.
Like,
Yeah.
Okay. Did you check your email again?
you already there.
Let me just try for a second.
Let's see if, are you already in the, go to your social, because it'll be under your social. Hers didn't go through the,
Band. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, since you're at the bottom. I was wondering if I was taking notes.
because
But I
if you,
can-
and if you on your primary, but you can go on site first, I'm social too. Edward, she can,
Yeah.
Lisa didn't get hers.
Maybe you can change the
No, you can even see it highlighted.
oh,
Oh, and then also make you have
You
an
want-
account.
you know,
Oh.
if you want.
Let me see.
You should.
Cause I know like we have like the smartphone or whatever, like where's the log on? You know what I'm saying? I have to make it Google. I have one. But it's like,
There's so many.
you know, like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, my name is.
I got it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now, Lisa,
Sir. That's like this. Isn't it good?
okay, so Lisa, give me yours one more time.
Oh,
Your Gmail.
LISA, Myers, 07, at gmail.com.
Okay. All right, now,
Everybody's all professional, you want to be Vanda, me.
okay, so now everybody should go to their email, or not their email. You should be on the document. So we've got Vanessa, Charday, Terrence, Shaquall, Band D, Shanisha, Alicia, Lisa. Okay, everybody's there, right?
Yes.
So now we could type anything you want. And, so let me go here. So now what did I just do?
You deleted everything.
Did I?
Yeah.
Scroll down.
Oh. Okay.
Did I delete it? No, I just inserted a
I
page.
was like, why did you do that?
Okay? Okay? So now we can all be typing. So everybody just type
What
something.
is this about?
It says right next to it who typed it.
Terrence?
I didn't delete that.
No.
Why you give me that word?
Terrence?
See, this is a good way to see how people think. This is a good employment test.
Right, okay.
See you next week.
So you can see there,
I don't want to.
you can see the people's names.
Oh, that's him.
But
Exactly. Every time I type, it goes down. Look. Every time I type, it goes down. Look.
I know what you did, love.
What the, wait.
Who put the
See
who's
you
doing that?
next week.
Those weeks.
We
Weeks. One this is pretty fun.
Okay? So for work, how does this become helpful at work?
Because like a lawyer can communicate with employees.
Well, you can have teams of people creating a project,
Right.
right? Google has a commercial with Hall & Oates writing a song. There's a Google commercial with Hall & Oates.
I love
Writing a
Hall &
song.
Oates. Yeah.
They're writing their famous song, and it starts out different.
Incoming call from +17026001089.
Okay, so it's time. We've got to start wrapping this up now. Everybody's screwed around on this, right?
Yes.
Okay, now what I can do though is I can go to revisions and I can see what everybody did.
Oh, really?
Yeah. File,
And that's like without all the backspaces and stuff, huh?
file, revision history. I can decide I'm going to go back to where I left it off today and restore that version.
Well, that's
Yay, I would rather read
Okay.
this.
For real.
Okay, so this is a project we did in school today, where everybody broke up in teams of 3 people, and they had to create a document like this. There's a poem. They had to go create a document.
Wow, so we're gonna start doing documents too?
Huh?
Poems? We had to write poems too?
No, we didn't write it. This is a famous poem. But they had to go find the poem off the internet, copy and paste it into here, format it, do a header, footer, annotations. Where there's things that are underlined in here, and there's footnotes to them, and then find an analysis, put a picture in 1 hour.
That's easy.
Okay, so we'll do this next week.
Alright.
Okay?
Until next week.
Well, next week, I don't know what we're doing next week.
7 minutes.
But so that is Google Docs. It's some of the things about Google Docs. Okay, now when we leave, we've got to make sure
That you sign out.
to sign out, correct?
So you sign up from this one right here, from this page.
How we sign up?
Oh, okay.
You just close it.
It says sign out right there?
I remove myself altogether.
You want to do that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Go to
best
settings.
practices.
Go right here, sign out.
Settings.
And it needs to.
I like you.
And click on yourself.